And welcome back to Judgment Day Holiday Edition, where we judge Reddit posts in the Am I the A-hole column that are specifically focused on holiday things. And so I am so excited. I'm back here with Olivia. I'm back here with Anne, who are filling in as our panelists for this miniseries. And oh boy, this one might be my favorite post of the year. I'm not going to lie. When I saw and read this, my jaw was on the floor. So, am I the a-hole for calling my wife unreasonable for backing out of spending Christmas with my family after my mother rejected her cookie sample?
I love it so much. Love it so much.
There's so much to unpack here. So much to unpack. And I feel like we could spend...
I swear this was something like on one of the Bravo housewives, something with cookies. I don't know. It's got me real curious. I'm going to have to look it up or something. One of those shows. Olivia, you like some of those reality shows sometimes, or maybe a Kardashian thing.
Love
with cookies. Definitely was a hot topic. Go ahead.
All right. Context. I like how he starts it right away. Context. No hello. No, just context. Mm-hmm. For every holiday, my mother would ask the women in the family, my sisters, sister-in-law, my wife, and female cousins, to send samples of the desserts they plan to bring to the celebration for testing and to see if their desserts could make it to the food menu. My wife has been complaining about my mother deliberately rejecting every dessert sample she sent. So many times my mother has told her that she's being honest and keeping the guests' best interest at heart. The funny thing is, I just picture, imagine going over and you're the guest and you're having a cookie. Oh, this is a bad cookie. This party's ruined. And the host going the guest's best interest at heart. I can't.
On the flip side of that, though, I'm also thinking of what if these cookies are really bad and this mother's just tasting all of these terrible cookies.
So wild. This is so wild because I've never heard anything like this.
No, it's so weird.
This is not a food tasting menu for your wedding. What are you talking about?
But even I don't know, some of these weddings have the cookie bars where everyone brings their cookies. Imagine being I want you to not only, give me $100 or whatever for my wedding gift, but also bake homemade cookies from my cookie bar and then be ooh, Grandma Edie, these cookies are too dry. Get your dry cookies off my goddamn table. It just feels insensitive. It's one thing to be did you buy those at Giant Eagle and put them on the homemade cookie table? That would be a more reasonable ask, but okay. Anyway.
That's right.
We still have a little bit to read here.
By the way, it was New Jersey Housewives with Teresa. The sprinkle cookie debacle. I knew there was something to this. Not that the story's about that, but it's giving me flashbacks. I was like, why is this such a bizarre thing?
My wife still thinks my mother is being deliberate since 2 of her dessert samples were rejected before. I do want to know, what were the 2 that were previously rejected? I think that not that it changes anything. I'm just curious, what was submitted? Was it a safe option and then too risky the next year? Or did she go all out and then it was a safe option for the second year? I don't know.
I want to know when they're rejected. Is it Willy Wonka and it's the bad egg and then it goes in the thing and goes down into the incinerator? What does the reject look like?
Does she finish the whole sample or is she the Gordon Ramsay where she has the bite and goes, this is wrong. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Idiot sandwich.
Right.
For this year's Christmas, my mother's doing the same thing, but this time she told every woman who was participating to make a cookie sample and send it to her for testing. My wife took it as a challenge, and to be honest, she worked really hard to make a good sample and sent it to my mother days ago, and the results just came in yesterday. The results, this is an STD test. The results came in.
Right. Is she putting on a lab coat and goggles? What's happening?
One of those stock footage of the, oh my God. I came home from work and found my wife upset. I asked what's wrong. She said my mother rejected the sample she sent and decided to exclude her baking from the food list /menu. I didn't know what to say, but then my wife told me she was backing out of the invitation to attend Christmas with my family. I was stunned when I heard her make that statement. I tried to talk to her, but she said it was done. I called her unreasonable to bail on the whole family over some cookie sample. That's just freaking crazy and quite unreasonable. We had a full-on argument about it, and she stated that my mother caused this, but I told her that my mother is pretty serious and careful about the food she offers to guests, since we are going to have relatives coming from all sides of the country.
Oh my God.
Your family came in from Portland. They can't have terrible cookies. Like, and Jean is coming from Miami. Later, I heard my wife cry despite telling her that her baking's amazing and people just have preferences. That's all. Am I the asshole for insisting that her decision was unreasonable? For those asking whose cookie samples made it to the menu, the answer is my sister and 2 cousins. Few things to say. One, my wife wasn't the only one that was rejected. The sister-in-laws were rejected and the younger sister was rejected. My mother does not force anyone to participate. It's whoever wants to take part. And this is just about dessert, since my mother tends to be very careful in this category. But for other types of food, dishes, appetizers, and salads, that is welcome. So I like how like you could bring in like a chicken pot pie and she'd be like, thank you so much. But like you bring in like a dozen sugar cookies and it's like, this wasn't approved. This isn't on the prefix menu.
That's wild.
I have something to say about this.
Please.
It's beyond the cookies. There's something else going between this mother-in-law and this wife. Definitely, there's something else going on. Yeah, because like I don't know. To me, like okay, yeah, if your cookie doesn't get picked a couple times, 2 or 3 years in a row, that sucks. But like to not just show up to Christmas because of it. I feel like there's a deeper rooted problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all know where we land on this one. I don't think there's much discussion about like, I don't know, maybe, I mean, it's just so interesting because like, it proves to me that like in the age where so much of information and skills, everything's so accessible, you could do so many things with your life. There are still people out there who don't have a fucking life. And this mother-in-law is one of those people. And I'm sorry, the fact that you have to gatekeep the Christmas cookie table to the point, it's one thing to say, hey, I want to make sure we're all making different cookies. What are you making? What are you making? But to literally have people send you samples. And then for you to go, first of all, I'd be so gracious if someone was like, I'm going to, bring cookies to your party. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. The fact that then these samples can be rejected, straight out rejected. It's one thing to be like, I want to just sample it. Like maybe I can offer you some help, or like, I know you're not a baker. That's one thing, but it's like Top Chef. It's like she's trying to have a food reality show. It's chopped literally because she chopped half the family.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. And it makes me so lucky that I can't think of anyone in my life who would do this. Even the people in my life who I'm like, oh, they're crazy or controlling or, like I know some mother-in-laws who are really terrible people. And some, mother, not my mother, but some other mother characters in life, right? Who are like, oh, that's a bad mom. This is just a whole new level of icing on the cookie. I mean, it really is. So.
Icing on the cookie.
What about Anne? What about you? Anything to comment?
Yeah. No, the mother-in-law's the asshole. Who auditions to have a Christmas cookie? And the whole thing's so preposterous to me. I don't think Olivia's wrong that there might be something else going on here, but it does sound like she's rejecting a lot of cookies. I'm sorry. You want me to audition my side dish? I'm going to the sister's party from the other that's having the alcohol. That's where I'm going. I'm not going to yours. If I have to audition my food to be there, no. But if I got rejected once and decided to partake in getting judged, which I wouldn't submit my cookies to get judged, or I would go to Corbo's Bakery and submit those and see if she would turn those down. And then I would plant a hair in the mother-in-law's cookies because she's being a douchebag.
Or a toenail.
It's ridiculous.
Or a toenail.
Yeah, yes, Olivia.
Is that a macadamia nut?
No, it's just toasted toffee. That's a crunch.
Oh my God.
It's so preposterous to me because she would get along with the woman that doesn't want alcohol at her party. She would get along with the one that says that 5-year-old is not coming to my Christmas. They could all have their party together.
She would reject the 5-year-old's cookie.
That's right. That's right. I do not think the daughter-in-law is an asshole for at this point feeling like I just don't want a part of that. It almost seems like it's a metaphor for not accepting your guests that are baking for you.
Well, and I do want to also add, I think the mother-in-law, because she's so outrageous, is getting a lot of attention, but the husband who's allowing his mom to have these, weird medieval
cookie doesn't
rules.
fall far from the batch.
Yeah, well, I do think, sometimes people get normalized this behavior. Like to him, this is just my mom doing what my mom does. Instead of saying what my mom does is hurtful and is over some lines. And instead of, your poor wife's crying in the other room and you're like, well, it's unreasonable to cancel on Christmas. Instead of saying even, don't worry about it, let me talk to my mom, or you know what, we'll have our own Christmas this year. Like your first reaction is to be like, this is what my mom does. I don't know. I don't love that.
He's saying her feelings aren't valid, which makes him the cookie that fell from the batch. No different than his mom. Yeah. Olivia, thoughts?
No, I agree. I totally agree.
Who's the bigger asshole, the son or the mom?
The mom. Oh,
it's the mom for the behavior, but it's the son for enabling. Yes, thank you.
Yes, the son is an enabler. I'm curious.
But the son's the one married to her. So now I'm wondering if he's a bigger asshole. Like, stand by your man, stand by your woman.
I see where you could say that, but I feel like it kind of goes back to like the whole like mama's boy thing. And if she has, sorry, I'm staring at a mama's boy right over there. So
shots fired. I can't wait for the fly on the wall of after this podcast.
It kind of goes back to the whole like mama's boy thing. I'm also curious how because they said that the other sister-in-law's cookie was rejected too. I'm curious as to how that dynamic goes with that it's like kind of the same situation. They're brothers. They're both sons of the mom, the crazy mom. So, but yeah, it just kind of to me like sounds like the son or the husband is the enabler because that attitude is like just, it's not okay.
If the son submitted the very same cookies, would they have made it to the table?
Here's another thing too. The fact that it's like a woman thing irks me. Like it's all the ladies of the family who are baking the cookies. Why can't this guy bake a cookie? Oh, because he doesn't want to, because he's a man and it's his wife's job to bake the cookies to send to mom to get approved.
Yeah.
I think we all know where these comments went. Obviously, they said the husband's the asshole. This one's really funny. I'd never in a million years bake samples to be approved. I'm just showing up with my food. Eat it or not. I don't care.
Yeah.
Some said too, like, the hell kind of tradition is this? This isn't Chopped / the Great British Bake Off. No wonder your wife doesn't want to go.
I wouldn't want to go either, though. Like, I really, like, if I were in that situation, I genuinely think I would do the exact same thing. I would not go.
I just can't get over, like, we have family coming from all over for this holiday celebration. We have your cousins are coming in from Newark.
Yeah.
Like they deserve better. Here, do you want a spicy update though?
Yeah.
Ooh, update, great. So I just got off the phone with my brother and he told me that his wife is doing the same thing as my wife and that she has decided to back out of the invitation to spend Christmas with family as well.
It goes deeper than the cookies.
Turns out my wife must have told her of the decision and she decided to follow her lead. My brother is pissed, saying my wife is encouraging his wife to do this. I see that the problem has just gotten bigger now. Who knows? My younger sister might join in and decide to not go as well. I don't know how this got out of control so quickly. I guess we'll try to have a discussion with my mother about this soon. and sees how it goes. I guess we'll have a discussion. See, again, you know who's watching, you know who's reading this and going, Freud.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Any other comments on this? This one's wild. This one really takes the
Again, last comment, it goes deeper than the cookie sample. It goes way deeper.
You sound like Nicolas Cage in like one of those movies. It goes deeper than the sample. Like,
I agree. It goes deeper than the sample, and that ginger snapped.
That was actually really funny. Really stupid, but really funny. All right. Well, hey, this holiday season, hopefully you're not baking samples for your loved ones. Tell them they can either eat what you provide, eat what you shopped at Aldi's for, or they can go home hungry. That's the lesson here. And thanks for listening to Judgment Day Holiday Edition. We're going to bring a couple more holiday stories your way pretty soon. Bye.
Judgment Day is a podcast by Starvolt Studios. Judgment Day is executively produced by Matt Hribar, Logan Molnar, and Raina Beutel. For more awesome content, just go to starvoltstudios.com or on their Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter page.